So this is my wife. I love my wife.
You
My
look
wife
at
is
me as you
amazing.
talk to me.
I was trying to tell them that I love you,
But you tell me.
but I've told you so many times.
No, not like
You know,
that.
but I wanted them to know that I actually
Okay.
love you.
Okay, tell them how much you love me.
Okay. Before I was rudely interrupted, I was saying, if you didn't watch our video that we did yesterday, we'll link it on this video. You can watch it. We're talking about the lesson that we have learned in our first year of marriage. Hi guys, my name is Shadi.
And my name is Purity.
And we are the Ashayas. Welcome to Honey Let's Talk, where we say, when we talk,
we make it better.
So today we are talking about lesson number
Two.
Lesson
Lesson number
number 2.
2. We have learned that our focus has to constantly be on Jesus, on Christ.
What do you mean by focus on Jesus? Are you saying that you're not focusing on me?
Yes, less focus on you and more focus on the Lord. Less of you, more of
But
Him.
you're married to me.
Yeah, I'm married to you, but you're not.
I'm not your number one. Are you saying
No,
that
you're
I'm
not
not
my
your
number one. Jesus is my number one, and then you're number 2. See how that fits nicely.
Well, how does that work?
Jesus number 1, then you.
How
number 2,
does
and
that
then me
work?
number here.
No. How does that work?
So how that works is that as I keep focusing on the Lord, I get closer to you. You see, I can't get closer to you if I'm getting close. If I'm not closer to Jesus, it doesn't work like that in this particular marriage.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
what she's saying, just to
Just in
break it
simple
down for
terms.
you guys,
Yeah.
is this, that your partner is not responsible for your happiness.
Exactly. So that is very true. If I depend on him to make me happy, or if I depend on him to make me feel a certain way, then I would keep having so many expectations on him as a man that probably he can't even meet them.
Yeah.
But as I put my focus on the Lord, meaning that whatever it is that I'm feeling needs to be filled inside of me, whatever expectation that I have of him as a man, that I go back to God and I go back to Jesus and tell him, you know what, Jesus, this is what I desire of this guy. This is what I desire of this marriage. This is what I desire of myself. Would you make me more of you and less of myself, and that I would be able to know how to relate with him, and he also knows how to relate with me. Because again, at the end of the day, guys, we are not in control of our marriage. We are not in control of our lives at this particular, in this particular marriage. Because if we are not focusing on the Lord, then more so I'll keep focusing my attention on you and wanting an attention that becomes unhealthy.
Exactly.
In the
And
process.
and the thing is, as she focused on me, if you decide to focus on your partner to make you happy, to feel you, to make you fulfilled, all those things, the reality is they will never be able to fulfill you. They will
Exactly.
never be able to fill that void. They will never be able to make you happy the way you want to be made happy. You know why? Because they will hurt you sometimes.
Yes.
They are limited. There are things that they cannot. That is a huge responsibility to lay on your partner, that we have learned in this first year of marriage, that we need to put that responsibility on Christ, because Christ has the capacity to fill me, to be whole, so that I can serve her better. Because at the end of the day is, how can I serve her better?
Exactly.
And that only comes when I go back to Christ, who is the creator. It's like going back to the manufacturer. You have the manual, but you go back to the manufacturer, because the manufacturer, they know the exact way they created or they designed you, and God becomes now a designer. He knows me. He knows completely my weaknesses, my strength.
Exactly.
He knows
Exactly.
my capacity, and he knows that I cannot fulfill her completely if I am not taking my cues from him. It's like we've learned this from that love triangle. It looks like
Okay.
that.
Let's
This is a triangle. Yeah, like a triangle. So she's on this one edge.
Jesus triangle.
Jesus triangle. Is it Jesus or marriage triangle?
Okay,
I think it's the marriage triangle.
Marriage triangle.
So on this edge is her, on this other edge is me, and then at the top, at the tip, is Jesus. So the distance between me and her at the bottom is a bit wider. And if I try to focus if I try to focus on her, we might draw towards each other, but farther away from Christ.
Yes. So it starts.
So it starts coming like this. We are closer to each other, but very far from Christ. So the goal
like
is,
this.
it becomes like this. So Christ is nowhere in the picture.
Yeah.
But the goal is the two of us individually to climb, drawing ourselves and our attention to
ladder.
Christ, and then the triangle becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So we are closer to Jesus individually, we are closer to each other together, and we are closer to each other. We are closer as a couple to Jesus. That gives us an opportunity to enjoy what Christ is doing in each and every one of us. And there is when we are doing our premarital counseling, there is one statement that was like our founding for this whole principle is work for me, pray for her.
Yeah, so I have
That's
to
the
work
goal.
on me as a person as I pray for my spouse every single time. Work on me, pray for him. Work on me, pray for him. So meaning as we constantly work on each other. Now he works on himself as a person, and I keep working on myself as a person. Because we realized that during this first year of our marriage, as we got into it, he came with a different parts of him. Some of them were working, some of them Jesus is still working on them, some of them are still in work in progress, as well as for me also. There are things that came that were working, others were not working, different parts of me. And through the both of us interacting, we realized that all these weaknesses, all these faults, issues, baggage from the past, or anything that in the past we didn't get to deal with it, then it gets even more magnified in the marriage. But the more magnified they become in the marriage, the more now we get closer and closer and closer to Jesus, for him to work on those issues in our lives as we talk about them. So it doesn't end up being that I'm depending on him as my husband to fix my issues. He can't even fix my issues, as well as I can't fix his issues. I could only listen to him, and we discuss about it and see what are the next steps. But at the end of the day, I have to keep going back to Jesus as a wife, as well as also for him, he has to keep going back to Jesus. Okay, God, this is where I am. And one thing that we both also learned is, okay, maybe in your mind you're asking yourselves, okay, he has focused on Jesus and I have focused on Jesus, and we keep getting closer to Jesus. So what happens to the both of us? So we've learned the aspect of devotions, praying together, discussing about our faith, and discussing about the things that we are going through in that particular time. What is God teaching us? What do we need to hear, or what are we both hearing from God that we need to, work on? What are we hearing from God that we need to do it because it's out of obedience of what he has said? And I feel as though that has also strengthened our spiritual lives, or it has strengthened the bond, emotional, physical, spiritual, every bond that you would think about in the marriage. It has been strengthened by the fact that we are giving that responsibility to Jesus to lead the relationship. So it's not as simple as just saying put Christ at the center of your marriage. It's not so simple to just say. It's simple to say put Jesus at the center of your marriage, but it takes work.
And
it takes work.
And that's something that the two of you need to work on. You need to work on yourself, pray for your partner, and that's the goal, and that's our lesson for lesson number 2.
Yes.
Work for me.
Work on me. Pray for you.
No, we're praying for you.
You see, even you, we have to pray for you. You, Kwanzaa, we have to pour anointing oil and the blood of Jesus and blue band.
So the goal, guys, is don't try to fix each other.
Exactly.
Because you cannot fix each other. Point each other to Christ, and Christ will fix anything that you want to be fixed.
Exactly. So you may be there, and you probably have been married 3 months, 4 months, and maybe you have a great lesson also on this that we've talked about. What does it mean for you to focus on Jesus in your marriage, Or maybe you have a different lesson in regards to, focusing on Jesus. Yeah. So
what does it mean to put Christ at the center
of
We'd
your
like to hear from you. Please hit us on our social media at the Ashayos. No, at Ashayos. There's no there. There's only Ashayos. Anyway, at Ashayos. But also you can comment below and tell us what does it mean for the two of you as a couple to focus on Jesus or put Christ at the center. But also, guys, like to to ask for a favor, you know, hit that like and subscribe to this channel, because we'll be sharing with you amazing tips that can help you grow your relationship and make it better. Because guys, this is Honey Let's Talk, and we say
When we talk, we make it better.
See you
next time in the next video.
We should talk about the next video. We should talk about what have we learned about sex, like talking about
Maybe are you
from a Christian perspective.
Are you sure you want us to talk about
it's we have